Hello, hello. How are you all doing? Should be all working. And as always, my OBS. Hold on, give me a sec. Continual fucking technical difficulties. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of it. I'll catch you soon. Give me two uno. Okay. Hello. Hola. I swear, whoever makes a better OBS is going to make a lot of people very, very happy. I've had nothing but troubles with them, but let's not start off the stream complaining. Welcome, everyone. Great to have you. Bone Brew, what's going on? QDQ, welcome. Remby, how are you, my little Belgian waffle? Just Tony Tumbakon, hello. Artist Timo, welcome back, my friend. All right, so here I kind of want to just jump straight in and have a play. This guy looked funny to me, so no offense. Funny as in like interesting. Jasper, what's going on? Tomoki, welcome, welcome. So, do we do timed? The stream technically says timed because I chose a stream from beforehand. Yeah, let's do timed. Why not? Time gestures. What do we think? Do a quick little fiver. See how we go. Reset the clock. Kentas, going well, my friend. Going well. How you doing? All right. We'll let everyone just sort of filter in for a bit, for a moment. And then we'll see. I'll give you a couple of minutes. I'm just going to... Maybe if we warm up, I don't know. I've just been jumping in recently. I'm kind of itchy. I just want to like go. I just want to start drawing, but that's cheating. I'll refrain myself. I'll let everyone get settled in. But how you all been doing? Yeah, whoever makes a better OBS. Oh. Okay. Cool. All right, look. I'm itching to get into it. Let's get into it. There's going to be more if people miss it. So let's get started, hey? 3, 2, 1. Countdown has started. Okay. First time drawing today, so I am looking to get the juices flowing. Been doing a ton of plain Jane work, getting all the paints, the bone color in particular, just right, which has been a lot of fun. So what do we got here? We got like very long nail, not super long. Maybe it's more of an illusion than anything. gonna try pit of the neck, come up at clavicles. Boom, boom, boom. There's less of like a gesture and more, I don't know, just noodling around, finding stuff. And we'll just see where the stream takes us. If you want to follow along, choose any medium that you have. Don't feel like you have to do digital. If I had clay in front of me, I'd do that. Man, this guy's got to be like sub 5% body fat. Like you could, that bicep. That can't be healthy. Saw your stories with a lot of plain Janes. How many of them have you done? Well, I've had a bit of a debacle actually. Bit of an issue that we're investigating at the moment. But I don't know if I mentioned this last week. I don't know if it happened. All the days are running into one another. But so I got all the, I think it was like 10 of them. But each plain Jane now, because there's a skull side to her, now has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pieces each individually. So the skull, jaw, spine, clavicle, and scapula, and 2 rib bones, and the base. And half of those didn't turn out well, and I only found out that there was some interaction with the resin, which we've got to figure it out. I'm in conversations to see if we can figure that out. But yeah, half the batch had to be thrown out, which was fun. That was in it. That was exciting. That was a good laugh, you know. Jokes, it was bloody terrible. I think we should move this guy. He's in a bit of a nefarious position from where we're drawing this fella, so. Where are we at, Tom? Shit, 29 seconds. Didn't get too far with this guy. I like this. I don't know. Having fun with these shapes, actually. So you can kind of see that, like, where we can push parts of the anatomy if we want. We can see that little elbow. Right, really sunken in eyes. So when I'm doing sunken in eyes, more so, time is off, but you know what? It's my stream, I'm going to do what I want. We've got to make sure we push it back into the head this way. So we're going to move this guy back, potentially, but it's not going to be like back here, right? This eye is going to be this way, and this eye is going to be doing a lot of the heavy lifting of how sunken in those eyes are going to be. This brow and cheekbone and where you place that eye. Like his eye could be way back here. And that's telling a lot about the form. Right? Anyway, I digress. So I've developed my own script for my sci-fi Starforged game. Fantastic. It's been really nice being able to have a visual for what I think transhuman English would look like in a far-flung future. That's fantastic, bro. I also been working on drawing my own OC for one of my D&D games, which has been super fun. Beautiful. All right, next one. But with the plain Janes, I keep trucking, keep moving. There's no point getting all pissy about it and being like, oh no, blah, blah, blah. But no, do what I can. Use the half of them that are usable, and I've been finishing them up and painting them. So paintings, and I've been recording. That's one thing I've been doing. Content mode has started to switch on. I've been recording a bunch of the process, the molding, the casting, and today is going to be more of the painting, which is going to be fun. Okay, grab this lady, 5 minutes. Start the timer. Let's go, because there's still, you can find the gesture. Of this character, so we could even push these shapes, so we don't think too hard about it. Is down here if we wanted to push it. Also, I saw that Tomoki, nice one. It's yeah, the videos have had a complete overhaul, and they should be working in the next day or so. We've like basically ripped out a whole bunch of how the videos work, thrown it back in, and good. The Discord, I'm glad the Discord's integration's working. It works smoothly. You are in the test Discord. I did see that. But I'm thinking this week, for those that join the Grey Matter tier, the live version of Grey Matter, this week, all going well, I should start filtering in some more people to start beta testing. Now I'm trying to think about what to call this, because I still want to call it Grey Matter, right? So I had Grey Matter Live, but like on demand seems a little bit, I don't know, sterile for a name. It sounds like a bloody streaming service, which technically you are streaming the video, but it's a lot more than that. So yeah, I don't know, Grey Matter something. Because I don't want to get it confused with the workshop, like the live workshops. That's why it was Grey Matter Live, and then Grey Matter On Demand, Grey Matter Self-Paced, Grey Matter Choose Your Own Adventure. Too long, too on the nose. Because I want to brand, like everything I want to put out, I want to like brand it. I don't want to just want to be like Valley and Lighting. Because that's half the fun. Making all the, I don't know, making the like thing feel like mine. Christian, what's going on, dude? Welcome. I've found a plugin because I'm no longer using that other streaming software because that didn't work for me for what I wanted to do. Like oh, she looks a bit cross-eyed. This is it's literally a game of millimeters where the eyes look correct or not. To get people hopping into the stream and having a chat, that'll be cool. I want to get that done in the next couple of weeks. Because quite frankly, I don't know if any other streamers or content creators are out there. If you are, great to have you. But I'm sick of hearing my own voice. I'd love to have a chat with other people in these streams as well. Still do my own single streams, right? Not like change the whole the whole whatever system that we've got going on here. Well, there's not much of a system. I show up on Mondays, and I just talk some shit and do some drawings. But I still want to do that. But just change it up a little bit. Would be fun. It's always not a bad idea. Yeah, we can try moving the eyes upwards, down. Don't be afraid to do this as well. Cut it out. You got the tools, you know. Like cut the thing out. Try a different expression. Eyes too high. Eyes way too low. Maybe somewhere in here. Maybe they're a little bit further outwards potentially. Cool. All right. Little gesture. Done. Artist Timo, glad you enjoy the warm-ups. Jasper, what's going on? Grey Matter is the series for the Ben Eblin brand. There we go. Thank you, Jasper. I would love to see that. Hopefully I can be part of it sometime. Absolutely. Got a promotion at your work. I'm becoming creative technologist. Well, la-di-da. Congrats, dude. All right, let's crack open another one. One right next to it. Why not? I'm enjoying the flow. I'm loosening up. I like it. My voice is breaking. I'm going through puberty. Everything's happening. All right, let's do another 5 minutes. Maybe we chuck a 10-minute here. 10 minutes. Refresh it. Estic, first timer, great to have you. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Okay, everyone prepared? Let's do the people in chat, so I know that we're ready to go. 5 emojis from 5 separate people. We're playing this game again, and then we shall begin. I should whip up something like a script that checks the emojis in chat for a particular emoji, and then once it hits a certain number, then it begins. All right, so 5 different emojis from 5 different people, and then we'll get going with the next warm up. Or we have no emojis and we sit here and we just chat. Yeah, I haven't done this in a while. Tomoki, good. Kick it off. Because I don't know how many of you are actually following along either. So I don't know if that's even... Jasper, alright, we got 2. Because it's not as specific, because I've kind of... Artist, 3, here we go. Who's going to come in clutch? Bone Brew, bloody legend. Who's going to... Tomoki, nice one. Alright, who's got that last emoji to kick it off? Because we usually have Instagram going, but Instagram didn't want to work today. You know what? I don't have time. I'm doing it. Boom. Let's go. All right. So we got a back of the head. So I'm seeing a clear sort of shape here, right? So I'm seeing boom. Whoop. Didn't start. The time, huh? Got a bit of extra time. I am seeing this shape here for the hair, which is kind of cool. Back of the ear. Now, back views of the head are bloody tricky, okay? Now, move this guy. He's a pain in the ass, this guy. He's been... Alfie. What's going on, dude? So, and this is where I've got to really think about not following the reference 100%. Like, what can I do to make it my own, have a play around with the stylization, place things just momentarily. Maybe I do a big earring on it. There you go. And then we come down here. So there's going to be a crossover from the neck to the shoulder. So just like always, larger shapes to smaller shapes is going to help you out tremendously, because I can't think right now. I'll give me a moment and I'll because it fuck, my RAM's full in my head. Hold on. I gotta get this because the back face is tricky, particularly if you're stylizing it. Can very easy make it look odd. Now, how big of a nose are we gonna do? It depends what this face is stylized like. Yeah, maybe that'll do. And maybe, because this is more of a stylized face, the lips, we wouldn't see too much of the lips. So maybe just... So you've got to think there's an angle here. Slightly from the cheek coming inwards down this way. So we don't want to draw this line straight down, because that's where you start to break that illusion. And you start to get wonky stuff happening. Maybe a peak of the eyebrow. Just some of these wispy bits up here. No, it's not the clavicle. That's the opposite of the clavicle. The scapula. Scapula. And maybe we come through here and rotate the head so she's looking a little bit more like this. So it's like more like that versus like just a little head tilt can do a lot. We could even push it forward a touch and then connect this neck. In the right spot. Now here's a place where we've got to keep in mind that in front and behind adds a little bit of that depth. The spine. Now this eyelash is doing a ton of the heavy lifting for us. So this is like that outside of the old eye socket. With that brow. Wrapping it around. I think we might be going a little bit too far with the ear. Maybe we could. Depends on how far we want that head tilted. Then we can even. What time have we got? 4 minutes. Okay. Little indication of the hair direction here, because this hair type, well not type, just the cut changes quite dramatically here. So we can just go. Right, and if we look at this as a whole, right, its form, this whole thing is a three-dimensional form that I'm encapsulating the hair in. The back of the head, three-dimensional form. Side of the head and hair, three-dimensional form, right? So that's the invisible lines that you aren't seeing that I'm putting down in my head to try and find. And I'd recommend, if you're not used to doing stuff like, or like thinking like that, draw it. I sometimes do as well if I'm having trouble. Do not be afraid. Do we keep the ear? Yeah, I think the earring fits her character a little bit more. It's a little bit smaller. Here, maybe we have some tiny little flyaways here. I don't know. Maybe not. That's killing the silhouette. It's killing it. Right, maybe we can make it our own. Let's see if I can think this through. Maybe I can imagine. Okay, what way is that going to be? That's going to be the pinky here. That's going to like maybe dip in and around her neck. Yeah, just going to do something like this for the last minute. Let's see. Depends on how big her hands are. No, that looks so weird. Oh, well, we've done it. Because then this, I'm imagining like drawing through where like her arm would be, like she's kind of holding her neck like that. Maybe we need to see. I'm on too much of the edge. I don't know. Nah, fluffed it. That's all right. 3, 2, 1. Done. Jasper, still trying to learn. What I'm still trying to learn is how to stylize. You and me both, my friend. I always tend to draw realistically. That's the battle. that I mess with every time I sit down and try and sculpt or draw. Welcome to the club, my friend. Ben, we just had a cool event here in Pasadena this weekend called Designer Con. It's people who make DIY. Oh, my Lanta. I want to go to that so bad. When is it? June. I might have to make a couple of trips out to America. One is not enough. I'd love to go to Designer Con. Where are we at? We've got some figure here. What have we got? I love this. This is just... okay, we got a blank one here. Do we do... This is more gestural. We could try... I mean, we could make... This could get very not clear very quickly. Let's see. We've done this guy before. I like this. Just as like a... I don't know, composition. So let's try. Or just like a pose. I feel like I'm way too slow. Estic. We have a little motto here on stream. What is it? Slow, Alpha, you're going to need to help me out here with this. I think you always correct me on it. Slow is fast. No. Slow is smooth and smooth is fast. Right? So there's the only reason that, and I'm not saying I'm anything special. The only reason that I can do it semi-fast, right? Maybe in comparison to someone that's not used to doing these kind of gestures or like quick studies, is because one, I've had practice, right? Yeah, we know practice, blah, blah, blah. But two, I've trained myself to think through the problem before I throw a line down. Am I perfect at it? Absolutely not. But instead of like having the pen down and go, because we've got to try and make something, what I'm doing is I'm thinking and trying to see that form, particularly like where I did this in the beginning here. I see that first and then I throw it down, and it's more deliberate than just speed for the speed's sake. Because honestly, who cares how fast you do it? I don't, personally. I'd much rather a better drawing at the end of the day that took me 4 times as long than a shitty one that I could boast and say, I did this in 30 seconds. And it's like, yeah, well, great. Cool. Another Designer Con is November 13th to 15th in Las Vegas. I'm going home on the 9th. Yeti, what's going on, dude? Ben, you'll be a hit at Designer Con. Man, that'd be a dream, hey. If I can get these plain Janes, or even my other sculpts, like I've got some other product ideas, some other art, sculpture ideas. Get some of those out there, that'd be sick. LPR, hey Ben, any advice on mastering perspective? Big question, broad question. We're just going to listen a broad answer. Let me just reset the timer. I'm going to try and do this more with shapes, blocks of shapes with this one, I reckon. Perspective. Is that like nothing I'm going to say here is going to really help you? I don't think, just by talking it out. But one little thing that has outweighed for me, it's given me an outweighed help. There's one thing, like this one way of thinking, is where's the horizon, right? Where are we looking? Where's the horizon? And then whatever object that I'm looking at, or whatever part of the object I'm looking at, what am I looking at? Am I looking at the top? right? Or am I looking at the bottom? You know? And if you can get these three things, or even these just two things, where there's the horizon and whatever object or part of the object that you're drawing is, are we looking at the top or the bottom of it? If you can get these two things working in unison, then you've got a lot of leeway. You've got a lot of, like, these lines aren't particular. Like if this was a cube, it's like, all right, maybe this one's a little bit more wonky, right? Maybe this one goes, I don't know, it's like skewed a little bit too much, right? You can get away with a lot if you've got these two things, at least from how I think about perspective. So hopefully that helps a little bit. Cosmic, welcome, welcome, welcome. Good morning. The grey matter name that you're looking for, the GG, the Grey Matter Guild. That implies like a full community. So I guess it is, yeah, people that take it as like a community thing. Grey Matter Guild. There's something there. There's something there. Do you animate? No, not in probably the way that you think. Like I don't do 2D animation or anything like that. Would I like to? Absolutely. All right, let's get this guy. Let's get some of these lines going, hey? I might even try and do it more like this. This fella. So I'm going to whip out sponsored segment, the filthy plugin. Not really sponsored segment. Well, I guess, I don't know. For those that are new, it's a plugin that I made with my good friend Francis, where it automatically fills in all the shapes. All right, that's what I'm going to be using because I've got it. If you don't have this, use a brush with full opacity, right, and full flow, so we can carve our shapes. All right, if you're following along. All right. 10 minutes on the clock. Ready, 3, 2, 1, go. Okay. So where's my extremities here? Got leg, foot, leg here, and then we got head. Why do I never give myself any room? Excuse me. Thank you. All right, so I might, and here we can play around with values. Whatever you need to do to get the impression of this image in, like, however you're doing it. Oh, this is, I don't mind this silhouette and then just like suggesting the jacket. That's kind of, look, I don't mind that. Happy little accident there. Shout out Bob Ross. I have been thinking about playing with more empty space or white space. Because really these folds are the thing that are telling most of the story. This is more like a graphic gesture study, I guess you could say. And then I might cheat. Well, there's no cheating. This is not a competition. When I lighten the values, so then I can come in with slightly darker values and work in some stuff. So we're kind of drawing with the Filthy plugin, not just filling stuff in. We're doing a bit of line work. We're doing a bit of everything, you know. If you don't mind, can you explain the difference between Kona Vision and Picture Plane? I'm currently trying to read how to draw by... I couldn't tell you, if I'm honest. I haven't really thought of it like that. Probably to my detriment. It's not a good or bad thing. It's not like, oh, that's a silly way of thinking. I haven't thought about it enough to give you a proper answer. One thing that's going to help with perspective is actually looking at things in reality and picking them up in your hand and taking the time to observe them. I always recommend this as well, sculpting. Sculpting helps a ton because I'm surprised that not more people are getting into sculpting because it's such a underrated tool for 2D artists. You know, it's like all those questions that you have. It's like, oh, where would this eye socket go? Where would the arm and the tricep like be in this particular angle? When you're sculpting it just like unlocks a whole bunch of answers to questions that you have as you're learning 2D or as you're trying to do like a 2D image. I appreciate it, LPR. Can you talk a little bit about the business aspect of being an artist, either as a freelancer or building an art business? Yeah. There's a million different ways to go about it. And the path that I'm on at the moment is not very traditional. So I don't have great answers because there's different aspects to... Oh my God. All right, and we're back. There's different aspects, right? I've got the content side, which is both fun for me when I'm in full content mode. It is fun, but it's also marketing, right? Just by proxy of people seeing your stuff. That's what marketing is, really. It's how they get to know you, which I think is going to be more important moving forward, is the getting to know the artist and what they're about and what they like and their inspirations and blah, 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 and their process to help you stand out. So there's that side of it. You've got if we want to bucket it into products. So we've got the educational side of my business. And then you've got the art side of the business. So selling art, whether it be physical products, prints, that kind of thing. And also for me, I'm building a software platform, like a course platform. So there's that side of business. That's not really maybe relevant to what you're asking. What I'm trying to achieve is to have them work together, is like a symbiotic kind of thing. I do the content to, one, it's fun and I enjoy it. I get to hang out with you guys. Like these live streams, right? These aren't really marketing. This is like I'm in kind of a content lull at the moment because I've got a lot of projects going on. This helps with consistency, right? It also helps me sit down. So again, thank you guys for hopping in, because it forces me to sit down and practice. All right. But it also, just by proxy of it being on the internet and people finding it like yourself, is kind of like a marketing thing. Because like some people, when I went to Lightbox, so many people came up that like watched the streams and I'd never seen them in chat. You know what I mean? You just never know who's hopping into the streams and checking it out, you know, and they mention things from something that I said, I don't know, like a year ago, and I can't remember it, but it helped them out, and I'm bloody happy with that, you know. But yeah, having it all work as a system, because it's like, all right, I do the content, which about the things that I'm making, I'm sharing the process, so I share a lot with the, how I do things. If you want a more structured explanation of stuff, that's where the educational side comes in, but I'll always be putting out free stuff. And then the stuff that I'm making, right, I can use as content to then promote the artwork that I'm selling as well. So I do like the how I make the thing, then how, which is then promotes potentially both the education aspect and the actual physical thing that I'm making, that I can either sell as prints, as sculptures, as that kind of stuff. So that's where I'm at with it at the moment. Freelance, I've picked up bits and pieces here and there just through Instagram. I don't have a portfolio, probably to my detriment if I was trying to. Video, bros, that's all right. You can still hear me, yeah. You don't need to see my face. Hold on. This is annoying though. Damn it. Whoa. Why doesn't stuff just work? I'm sick of this shit. Hello. Yeah, we're doing this one now. It is what it is. It's just stuff. I don't know what it is with me. I must be just the stupidest. Because it just decides to not work. You know what? We're here now. You're looking at me from this angle. You're not here for me, for my face. So, there we go. Oh, maybe we don't. Stuff. You see my messy floor now. There we go. See the behind the scenes where I just throw everything to the side. Okay. So there, time's up. I quite like this. Turned out alright. Don't mind it. Could have pushed it more, I reckon. The Glen of Crocott. Do you often talk so much while drawing? Definitely not. Or on streams, yeah. It's something that I've kind of trained myself to do, to keep in contact with you guys in chat and talk through the process as well. On my own, absolutely not. And I had to learn how to do that because it didn't come natural to me at all. For like 20 years of me just drawing by myself. Oh, this is kind of cool. But like, I'm not going to be able to see what's going on here. Yeah, I'm liking this like drapery stuff actually. Give me more ideas, Pinterest. Yeah, so it's something I had to learn, and it's for this live streaming stuff. Okay. Too small. Nah. I don't know how you guys are feeling about just doing these gestures for the rest of the stream. I'm kind of in the pocket right now. I'm kind of feeling okay. Oh, bot detected. Where's bot? I don't see anything in chat. Is it chat? This is an interesting one. I think I might play around with the darks and then have those lights to see if we can get the illusion of this fella. The beanie breaks. It could be Cosmic. Could be. How can I install your plugin? I just bought it. There should be a how-to when you install it. Typically, off the top of my head, depending on if it's Windows or Mac, you've got to put it in the plugins folder. On Mac. On Windows, there should be instructions. If you do have issues, let me know. Glenn, you're not stupid. Technical issues are challenging for everyone since there's no way to tell exactly what goes on. Yeah, but it just happens every stream. Every stream without fail. It can't. There's a certain point where I've just got to take responsibility and say maybe I'm the problem. You know? Okay, let's get going. Another one. Start the timer. A little 10-minute. That was quite nice. Okay, so what I'm going to try and do here, I might start with a darker background. Let's play with that. And we could, yeah, pull the values out. Well, pull the values out of the dark. I'm going to start with a darker background. If you'd like to follow along, feel free. Whack a little, and let's zoom out so it's not like 6 pixels. All right, start with the dark. We're going to pull him out of there somehow. Okay, 10 minutes on the clock. And we're going, let's go. So now I'm looking for these overexposed areas. Overexposed meaning the really light parts. And seeing, so we can kind of like squint down. And almost like sketch it out a little bit. So there's his hand, top of his head, shoulder, arm, hand. See how we're starting to get that illusion already? We got the back of his jacket, back of his leg, back of his other leg. And then maybe we actually have all this lit here, so then we can have that shadow show through. I reckon that'd be cool. Something maybe. Oh, we've already got some. This I can work with. Now I want to do subtle. Yeah, the plug. Yeah, there should be a how-to README file when you download it. If you're having troubles with that, let me know, but go through the process of the README on how to install. I see how we're trying to we're editing how much information. That we're adding. Compressing those values like a lot. And he kind of looks like his legs are chopped off. So, what I might do. Scale this background up a little bit more. It's not as stylized as I'd like, to be honest, but that's fine. It's how it's turning out. It looks like a ghost floating. This is an interesting study also on local values, because you've got a very light jacket, but the value, even on the black shirt, is going to be shown as like a similar value as the light. The light on the black shirt is going to be a similar value as the lighter jacket in the shadow. And this guy, I want to push this a little bit more. His hand is a little bit too short. Maybe we squeeze out a little bit of value here. So his shoulder's like up a little bit. Maybe we do it a little bit more. Give that illusion of his hair poking through a little bit. Do a little flip. Little indications of the speculars on his hair. Because everything is in context of one another, it reads as light. It doesn't have to be the same value as what's going on here. It's all reading. Reading is the same or similar. We can have some fun, maybe bumping that value up just a little bit to get some of these folds. And I'm drawing on the background. Who cares? It's just a little study. Maybe we have some of this. Don't show again. Thank you. Two minutes 30. I think we can just leave that. Leave that there. Maybe show a little indication of his foot. Maybe if we want to get fancy. No, normal. Dissolve. To show a little bit of that bloom, you know. I don't know if that even. Don't know if I like that. Nah, that looks silly. Get out of here. I don't hate that. That's okay. Ish. I don't like all these little bits and pieces I did here. Get out of it. Just take it away. Come on. No. Oh, sneeze. That never came. 3, 2, 1, and we're done. Silly. Hey Ben, been checking out your past streams. When it comes to rendering, I see you enjoy the use of multiplier layer. I certainly do. It's a favorite of mine. If it's possible, may you go a bit more into detail regarding it? Thanks. Probably not right now because we're doing more gestural stuff. But as like a high level, quick thing. Multiplier, I use it for darkening colors or changing the hue. Right, so if I wanted to darken this down, let's say, what's that thing that people do on stuff where it's a, is it like the gradient map or whatever? Gradient map. Yeah, so then you can try maybe like, I don't know, something. I don't know, let's say we had that, right? And let's say we wanted to darken down things. If we were doing this in color, I would grab this new layer, but we wanted to keep it the same hue. I'd go multiplier, and what determines how much effect, it might even be easier to see in the hue cube, little hue cube here. Actually, no, probably not. Yeah, no, probably. So how close you are to the darks, I mean, it makes sense. The darker it's going to be, but you've also got this as well, right? So if I just make it white, fully white, absolutely nothing's going to happen. But if I nudge it, let's get it back to normal. If I nudge it slightly towards, let's get a better brush. Right, it's like a very sensitive layer mode, because you can throw in darks pretty quickly with the same hue. But let's say we wanted to change the hue, right? Maybe we want it more purple. See how that's bringing in just a tad more purple, right? And if we just wanted to change the color, I'd go all up to the saturation, or up the top here, right? And I would just mess around. Maybe if we wanted to do this like warm, cool sort of thing. It's gonna be green for my liking. Oh, it is what it is. But you notice that the values underneath still have context. Right, so that's what I use it for, keeping the context of the values underneath and then messing around with both the hue. And if I wanted to darken things down, I could then use it as making things a little bit darker as well, while still, even though this went super dark, you can see ever so slightly there's still the context of the value structure underneath. Really, really, really quickly, but I think I've explained it a little bit further in a past few streams. Look for a thumbnail where it's like very color heavy and see if that helps. All right, let's grab another. I actually like this guy. I want to go back and maybe cruise into the end of the stream, just like playing with this guy, maybe throwing some color on him. See if we can find. No. Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to find him again, because I don't know if I have saved him. And I didn't. Awesome. All right, so we're going to wing it. No worries, silly. Hopefully that helps. Faha, how you doing? Use a BI7. How can I install it? I've said multiple times to check the how-to. You haven't given me any indication that you're saying that isn't working. If you could be more specific, I might be able to help. But if not, there is you can flick an email through Gumroad where you got it if you are having technical issues. Plugin is kind of tricky. Would be super helpful if you made a quick video. Yeah, definitely. That's a good idea. Every time I've missed these streams, I went, I'll catch it next time, and it's happened for more than a month now. Well, welcome, Kern. Great to have you. Ben, how do you prioritize educational course, developing platform, and drawing for yourself and creating more plain Janes? I feel like you have multiple projects at once. Don't do that. That's what I would recommend. Don't do that. I just have, like, after this stream, right? I'm going in the studio, aka the garage, and I'm blocking out the whole of today to get the painting done. So I'll like block things out. Let's also look at line work. My line work board, see if we can find some inspiration. Like, I love this traditional feeling stuff. That's really nice. So who is this? Good question. However you say your name is. Oh, I love that. Okay, tell me who. Might be Vixie Arts. I'm not quite sure, but the art style looks like a Lara. No, it's not. I can almost guarantee it's not Iron Blaze. Vixie Arts. If this is you, beautiful work. Appreciate it. Let's see if we can get a little bit of this feeling. Maybe do the sketch underneath so it feels more traditionally. I do have this, I've been playing around with this like inky texture brush, which might be a nice in between. So it's not super pencil-y. Got a bit of that. I like the idea of keeping the eyes like white or like almost glowing. All right, so how would I break this down? I'm seeing there's too much texture here. What I might do a quick little settings, texture, depth. Yeah, so we still can get solid lines. That's a bit better. Do we have... Yeah. There we go. Now we're cooking. All right, it's not going to be like a one-to-one with this style. I'm just looking at like some of that. It's just, it's also just a pencil and paper, so it's nice. It's got that traditional feel to it. So he's got like real sunken in cheeks. Particularly with the, I always put the ears too close. Way too close. Like he's got bloody earmuffs. You know what I mean? So let's see if we can follow that jaw. So this is where a little bit of anatomy comes in handy. Push that ear back ever so slightly. So find that clavicle going back. Right, it's not straight across here. It's sort of how kind of the thing I see all the time is handlebars, right? Kind of helps a little bit, but it is a very tricky bit of anatomy to get, particularly in perspective. I feel like blending modes to be a play by ear thing you come to learn through experience. 100%. Yeah, you're bang on. There's no... It's just like with any medium, really. You start to learn it as you go, but wherever I can be helpful with some of the things I've learned, hopefully I can be. So we got the bone here, but we also had that deltoid that connects, so that might actually hide where the bone would be there. Then that comes down here. Deltoid, the pectoralis. There was like a nice, from memory, there was like a nice shape that was just like, and like really carved in there. Then you had the lats. They're just like, bam, too big. For our character, at least. So we had this kind of shape in here, but then we had the obliques just like, bah. Something like that, maybe. Elbow. This thing. That thing. Yeah, let's start. Maybe we just start scribbling in some values first, and then we can come over the top with these layer modes to give you a bit of an idea how I might tackle this. So yeah, those really sunken in eyes. So there's going to be a big old shadow here. Found the guy you're looking for. I can send you a link. What guy was I looking for? Okay, Chaos. Love how exaggerated your figures are. Thank you. This hand is looking weird, but that's fine. Oh, the guy. Oh, dude, flick it through. That'd be lovely. I'm struggling. Boom, boom, boom. Thank you, sir. Ha! Let's see how far off we were. Not too far off. This, yeah, the abs come down here, but then there's a little bit of that rib cage that we're seeing here, oblique. Thank you to Mikey. I could even exaggerate this guy. Okay, where's that light source that we're going to be using? It's going to be top down. I like a nice little highlight here on his head. So it's going to be top down. This very sunken in. Remove the smoothing, thank you very much. Let's start building up some value. Straight to color. Bugger it, why not? It's almost gone like a watercolor way of doing stuff, just like plugging in a little bit of the color here. Then if we want, we can come back through. Cut it. Nah, let's not worry about cleaning it all up. Let's just play as we cruise in. To the final part of the stream, see where we can get to. There's something to pop him out of the background. What on earth? Why so laggy? Yeah, let's keep going with something like that. So this is where I would use something like the multiply if I wanted to start knocking in some of the darker values while still keeping some of the underneath. Still just throwing in the hues here, not too concerned too much with values just yet. Do not know where I'm going with this guy, but we'll soon find out. Do we want his eyes to be glowing? If so, that's going to have follow-on effects. Or do we want them to be just like a lighter color? Like they're white eyes, but they are in shadow. It's going to be two very different things. Yoongi, how you doing? Ah, thank you, Yoongi. I appreciate you popping in. See, now we're just kind of carving stuff around. Speak Brazilian Portuguese. Nice one. Are you studying drawing? Yeah, just having a bit of a player at the moment. Nothing too serious. Casca, how you doing? So this is the quiet time of the stream. Because I'm in the flow. Now, if everything's saturated, nothing's saturated. That's what we've got to keep in mind here. So I might want to desaturate the head up here a little bit. So this is where that color variation is going to come in. If I am to study your drawings and style, what are the key things that your style possesses that makes it different from others? Again, a broad question. I mean, I'm like an amalgamation of all my, what's the word? Influences as well. It just looks just like me. You reckon? Yeah, Jerome. Oh, I'm not sure how to answer that, if I'm honest. I just like pushing stuff. Pushing shapes, and sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. Tomas, hi Ben, did you learn to render light in your... how did you learn to render light in your paintings? Do you have any particular exercises you can recommend? Love your art. Thank you so much. For me, it's understanding what light does versus any rendering trick. You know, whys, asking a lot of whys. Why is this, like, I don't know, for example, like here, why am I putting a lighter value on this brow? Right, why is this brow getting a lighter value than like this area over here? It was because the light's coming from top down, and that's going to be influencing and helping to show the form. And one thing I'm always thinking about is whenever there's a plane change, there's going to be, typically, there's going to be a value change, right? So this is where I can start picking out, based on where I think the light source is, picking out the lights and the darks, and trying to follow that curve, like follow where that light is hitting the form. So it's both understanding what the light is doing and what is the form that you're drawing on top of, or what, not that you're drawing on top of, what you're drawing or trying to create the illusion of, you know? Those two things are going to be your best friend, because then you can take it whatever way that you want to. You can do it more stylized, you can do it realistic, you can do whatever you want, as long as you know the why behind what you're doing. It crosses mediums. Yeah, and it just gives you like complete control if you understand why you're doing what you're doing. So yeah, first I'd start to get really familiar with what light is and what it's doing. Because that's all I'm thinking about. Fat Cappy, what's going on? Could be a nice time to do a bit of the old smudging. I don't typically like to do this too early on, but because this is just we're just playing. It's the equivalent in sculpting to, depending on the clay type. But say if we're using like a polymer clay, getting a little bit of lighter fluid with a paintbrush and just going over the surface. So we can still think about this in three dimension, in just values as well, right? The values are still there, it's just removing a little bit of that texture. Then we can always come back in and add it. And also with the rendering, or like light, get into sculpture. I'm singing the praises of sculpture. I love it. So useful. It seems very daunting to begin with, but once you get a taste of it and it starts to click, it's like a superpower. Convert to the 3D dark side. I'm going to have my foot in both. I really want to try out how you emphasize the structure of the eyes and the forehead. Got to try this. Go for it. Go for a Q. Now this is where, and if you understand a little bit about what 3D artists sometimes do, is they'll cheat the lighting. If we were to just light this, quote unquote correctly, we might not get this little specular in the eye, where it might not be as like apparent. But sometimes I'll just throw lights in there just to, like in areas, just to make stuff work. Thomas, excellent tip, thanks. I often get lost when rendering complex shapes like faces or clothing. I suppose I should practice with simpler things first. Yeah. Because once you get down to it, rendering this forehead, the same principles apply to rendering the nose, to rendering the mouth, to rendering a tree, a rock, whatever. All the same principles apply. Light is light, value is value. It's just the subject matter changes. And the simpler the form, you can start off simple and then get more and more complex with a solid foundation with that larger simple form. Right, you notice that I didn't, when I started just scribbling on this guy, I didn't go right into the details and just start noodling in here and blah, 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 blah. I wanted to get the large read first. Catch that okay. Thank you very much. Appreciate you popping in. Also, don't be afraid to come back through after you've started to render stuff and fix things. You know, color, values. It's not done until it's done. So, like here, I might want to give a little bit of an indication of some hair on the side of his head, right? So I'm going to cool this down, right, to indicate maybe a little bit of that stubble. Right, same thing is like around his chin. I don't like the greens in here, so we can maybe, because we're in the color layer mode, so we can start knocking in some more of that color variation. That's one thing you can do with the color layer mode as well, is you can desaturate things. So if you just take it to the grayscale, it's going to gray everything out. So if you do want to just come through and de-emphasize some of the saturated areas, is a good way to do it. Yeah, I want to clean up this area. Let's get it. Let's see if I can show you what I'm thinking about. So here, bounce over, nose. Right. Here, bounce over brow. Here, bounce over here, bounce over. So he's also got his sort of furled brow. So we want to take that into account. And if this is now more bulbous, how is that going to affect the form? How is that going to affect how the light is hitting that? Maybe the light is now hitting the top of this little section on his brow because it's poking out more, facing that light a little bit more. We can massage that back into the rest of the skin. Same here. Now we can anchor this part of the brow. Right, clean it up slightly, like it's not the cleanest thing in the world, but and then we can think about the structure. Maybe because this brow is down more, maybe that's going to cut in further to the middle of the head, or to the middle of the brow, which is going to push this guy over this way just a slight little bit. See how we're kind of sculpting, really. Appreciate it, Tamuki. And then it's down to how you want your forms to look. Is this a very rounded form here? Is this going to be like a real cylinder? For the brow, or is it going to be a little bit flatter, kind of like I wanted it here, just a little bit flatter, a little bit less of a stark transition. Now this here is too light. It doesn't make sense where this is facing for it to be this bright. So let's darken that down. So we're just checking our logic. Now here I'm thinking this, and this is sort of poking out a little bit. So that light source is going to be hitting here. Here's going to be brighter. Here's going to be slightly brighter. texture in there. Check the values. Still a little bit too low contrasty in the lights. This nose, I think, be a lot darker, just based on the way it's facing. Then we've got this nose tip that kind of angles back up. Again, it's a stylistic thing. How far you want to push it. Now, one thing we've got to take into account as well is reflected light. So this is going to reflect up a little bit underneath here. This under, like ever so slightly, but it's going to be there. And also all of this potentially could do with just a little bit of brightening, which is then it potentially going to brighten under this brow. maybe, depends how far you want to push it. Because if we're saying that this brow is so far in front of that eye, this eye is tucked right back below, or like right deep into the eye socket. So we could imagine some of this reflected light coming back up and hitting that brow. Kind of makes it look very shiny. So then if you want to knock that back, you just make it a little bit less. Now if we have this shadow here, I want to cool down that shadow a little bit. Now there is this sort of like whoop, whoop, little part of the lip here. So that is going to be affected by the light differently. We might even see a little bit of specular on this peak. Might even see a bit of shadow. And there is it. Now we're getting real finicky here. I'm noodling away. But you know what? Sometimes you just gotta just let it rip. Just noodle. Nothing wrong with it. Until there is something wrong with it. Now because this lip is now pushed out, we've got to take into account that shadow. So that shadow might be crossing over that chin quite a lot, which then again we're creating context. Better, yeah. One thing you'll notice with the speculars, the shinier it is, the harder the edge. Let's do a little cheat code. Bit of rim light. With a warmer rim light on this side, cooler on that side. It's also another little cheat code, because I've been doing this a little bit lately. Actually, this could be a nice opportunity here for the back of the jaw. If the neck is coming back this far, we can also catch that light on the jaw there as well. Which could be a nice little thing. But then, because we've got this subsurface scattering opportunity, we can just feather in just ever so slightly. Just a little bit of that. Now I don't want this rim light to be so uniform, let's say, because the head is not going to be ultra smooth. So an opportunity here to the bottom of this lip, just to catch a bit of that light as well. So then we've created this in, out, in sort of deal. Alright, I could noodle on this forever. I'm having fun with this one. This is good. Tomas, how do you pull out those big hue variations with the dark values? It feels like it shouldn't work, but it does. Well, this is where the little trick of understanding your values first and then thinking about color afterwards comes into play. one little trick here, or one thing to think about at least, is that each, let's just get each hue, if we come here, each hue, if we go black and white, each hue has its own value, inherent value, let's say. So if I wanted to add some saturation in the darks, I probably wouldn't go and choose a yellow, because if I wanted to keep this value structure the same, but get a yellow that is that deep. I mean, it works if you wanted to make it yellow, but it's got to be quite dull. But that could be what you want, you know? Instead, I might, depending on the light source and what sort of vibe I'm going for, I might come in with some really poppy, sort of inherently darker one of these guys, staying away from these ones. Inherently darker hues. See, I can do it, and I can bump the value down. I can do it just in black and white, knowing that it's going to fit more or less. Even under here, I'll do it blind, right? Because the value structure is the same or very similar, and it kind of still works. You know, so that's a little trick. Each hue has its own inherent value, which is super helpful for us, because then we can just play in the color, in the hue range, in the hues value range. So if I wanted to go a little bit lighter, maybe even add some yellows in the lights, I could do that and still have, and I'd seldom actually choose just like the exact hue. I can do the same in the lights, because I'm not affecting that value structure too much. We've just peppered in just ever so slightly, just a little bit of those yellows in there if I wanted to go down that route, you know. So hopefully a little tip that will hopefully help you. Hey Ben, is the standalone course coming out this year? It will be, Yuri. Keep an eye out for it. I'm working on it. It's a behemoth. It's sweet, guys. Look, I reckon I'll leave it at that, because I will keep going for the next 6 hours if I don't stop myself now. All right. So massive thank you to everyone that popped in. Really appreciate you popping in week after week. For those that are new, welcome. These streams happen every week, same time, 10:45 a.m. Australian Central Standard Time, and Sunday 4 p.m. Same time, just different time zones, right? It's Monday for me, Sunday for those on the other side of the world. And yeah, got some cool stuff coming up. I'm not going to be tabling at Lightbox this year, but I'll be hanging around the Proco booth, which will be fun. For those in Pasadena that are going to Lightbox this year, working on some plain Janes that are going to be there. Proco is going to be providing them, which will be cool if you want to come through and see them in person. And new course coming out. All the information, you know where to find me. You know, you're smart people. You can find me on all the socials. And yeah, got some cool stuff coming up. But thank you once again for those in chat, having a chat. For those that are lurkers, I appreciate you just as much. And I'll catch you guys next week. All right. Have a great week, guys. See ya.